The deadly realities of a multi-billion-dollar industry haunt families and survivors for years. For many impacted by human trafficking in Texas, justice is elusive. Tonight we investigate the challenges prosecutors face in holding alleged traffickers accountable, often utilizing reduced or even dismissed charges.
4 days from her high school prom. And the next day is when the state troopers come to our home.
May 2018. Julia Wells, barely 18 years old, was just a few weeks shy of graduating high school. Her mom, Mary Wells, remembers the excitement she shared with people she met about this new chapter in life.
She talked to everybody. Everybody was her friend. She was autistic, so she didn't know a stranger at all. She loved everybody.
A few days before prom, Julia told her mom she wanted to spend time with a friend.
I got a text message, "Mom, I'm gonna stay with my friend for a couple of days. I'll be back on Thursday to get ready for prom because we have nails and hair before prom on Saturday."
Julia never made it home.
And the state trooper said there was an incident on the North Texas Tollway. I was like, "Well, where is she?" They said she didn't make it.
The initial police report said Julia's death was unexplained, but Wells said law enforcement told her Julia's body was found on the Dallas North Tollway.
Your daughter came out of a moving vehicle going at high rate of speed.
Wells soon learned Julia had been trafficked, and one of those involved was a woman she had called her friend.
The one question I was able to ask was, what did she sell her for? She sold my daughter for, gas money, $20, gas money. And I said I would have given her more than that to bring her home.
Julia's death became part of a multi-agency human trafficking investigation in Collin County, during which her mother learned how to navigate a legal system that delayed justice for years. She says the pandemic, turnover at the district attorney's office, and simply getting someone to take a closer look at her case were major hurdles. And she believes her persistent calls to the DA's office finally led to movement.
Oh yeah, they got tired of me.
How often were you calling?
I'd call them about every day.
A grand jury eventually returned indictments in the case. These are the suspects charged with human trafficking-related offenses. The first trial is expected in March, nearly 8 years after Julia's death.
So there's 1,100 here, and these are just reports.
Data we obtained from DA offices in 4 Central Texas counties and Dallas County from 2021 to now shows a snapshot of the delay in those places. More than 90 human trafficking cases still pending, with victims there waiting an average of more than 500 days for justice so far since their alleged offenses occurred, leaving families like Wells and survivors like B. Sawyer in limbo.
I was trafficked when I was from the ages of 15 to 17. I was trafficked at truck stops, all on I-10, I-20, and then I-30, like going across the state.
Sawyer said she was trafficked by her father. Court records show he was recently convicted of sexual assault of a child and sentenced to life in prison. How many years have you been fighting to seek justice?
So I first filed charges in 2020. So 5 years. You hear what your trafficker said, and you're afraid of cops and, law enforcement and everybody really.
That's why she says it took her so long to share her story.
But it's hard, and really it's like you're traumatized twice, because what happened to you, but then trying to navigate everything and then telling you have to tell your statement so many times, it's just exhausting. The first thing she did was
having a trauma-informed advocate is what she says helped her move forward. For her and Mary Wells, that advocate was Jacqueline Aludo of No Trafficking Zone.
We help build cases with law enforcement. We then walk with the victims through court.
Aludo spends years with survivors and their families to help secure prosecutions while pressing DAs and judges to enforce the state's human trafficking laws and ensure the crime matches the penalty.
In a lot of our counties, it's been deferred, probation, a slap on the wrist, or a trafficker, a pedophile gets 5 years, and then he pleads down, and then he's really in jail for 2 years.
Since 2021, district court data shows prosecutors filed more than 1,600 human trafficking cases statewide. But Texas Department of Criminal Justice data shows only 112 people currently serving prison sentences statewide for trafficking convictions in that same time period. From your vantage point, what would you say makes human trafficking just so difficult to prosecute in the state of Texas?
There are a lot of reasons I think human trafficking cases can be difficult to prosecute. I think it starts with really identifying it's like a closed community. And then I think a secondary challenge is that sometimes it's crossing state lines, it's crossing national borders. And so finding the witnesses, even once you locate them originally, has become a problem.
Williamson County District Attorney Sean Dick admits across Texas, prosecutions under the human trafficking statute are rare because there are more elements of the crime to prove for a conviction. So prosecutors explore other offenses.
When you can prosecute someone for a first-degree felony, you can still put that information on in punishment. So a jury can still sentence them based on all of the factors. And so it's usually preferable to take our easier charge to prove.
In the counties where we focused our data analysis, human trafficking cases that result in plea agreements are often negotiated down to compelling or promoting prostitution. In exchange for guilty pleas to those charges, prosecutors typically drop the trafficking charge. To secure trafficking convictions, Dick says his office is focused on specialized training and getting prosecutors involved in cases earlier to work with police to build a case that can secure a conviction under that statute.
Educate our community, educate our own prosecutors, and also to give us some tools that we didn't even know existed. And that's really why we joined with HTI to try to help.
HTI, or Human Trafficking Institute, is leading a new multi-year partnership with law enforcement and district attorneys' offices in 5 Texas counties, including Williamson. HTI's focus to identify gaps and opportunities in pursuing these cases.
And then we're measuring impact. So not just how many people are trained or supported, but how many arrests and or convictions result as a part of this partnership.
Additionally, HTI is helping prosecutors build evidence when a survivor is not available and tackling comprehensive data collection across the state, which experts say can be key to informing solutions. How can we better measure success?
Yeah, I mean, I think success around human trafficking looks different, and as prosecutors, we're told not to just convict, but to see that justice is done, and that means you're looking at the welfare and the desires and interests of victims of crime.
An approach that provides hope to these women as they continue to fight.
It makes me feel like what I would have wanted for Joya had she still been alive. You know, I would have wanted somebody to step in and help.
It seems very, very hopeless, you know, especially when you're being re-traumatized. You want to just fold the cards and give up, and it really, honestly, it would feel easier that way. I just keep telling myself it's worth it. You're not turning back. You've come too far, and you owe it to yourself.
Of the 5 counties we analyzed, we found the overall average from the time of an alleged human trafficking offense to closure of the case is 674 days. Jennifer Sanders, KXAN investigates.